To you, internet. Oh, this chair is like extra creaky tonight too. What's up? So we're back. Doom chat time. It's not very exciting theme music. We're on a budget. So welcome to DM Chats. Just a few quick announcements. This coming Saturday the 3rd, we are back with Tales from Cyril, and something just blew up in the game, so it should be an exciting session. Also, everyone heading out to Gen Con, travel safe, have so much fun, and remember to hydrate. So tonight's DM Chat's probably going to be pretty short and sweet. If you tuned in this past weekend, we played the most wholesomest of wholesome games, Gremlins in the Workshop, by RPG Tuned and R&W, who also did the Tremor Train game that we played last year and adored. So we were all really excited to get to play this. Our local library, the Sewell Mill Library, invited us out to play a game for Gary Gygax Day, but we had to be family friendly, so we decided we would play the most wholesomest of wholesome things, and what's more wholesome than Doggos saving Christmas. So Susie and Carolyn joined me at the library, and we rescued Christmas. The video is still up on our Twitch channel, and it'll be premiering on YouTube this Friday. I keep thinking today's Thursday and getting really confused. It's not Thursday, it's Wednesday, hence why I'm here. Hello. So, I was just going to talk a little bit about Gremlins in the Workshop, the adventure itself, kind of give it a little review. Now, this is an interesting one in that it was a Patreon game. So you can't, pop onto R&W's site and buy it, but you should support them on Patreon so that you can get cool stuff like this. They post all sorts of little adventures like this, and it's really freaking awesome, actually. They're one of my favorite people that I support on there. So you should definitely check them out, because then you get fun stuff like this. Originally, this came out obviously around Christmas time, so they kind of do some themed stuff, which is really fun. And they also just provide general minis and cool little doodads that you can add to your game in their very cartoony and adorable style. So that's where this came from. So yeah, it's not something that I can send you the link to so you can go buy it. You gotta support them on Patreon, y'all. So the general idea of this adventure is really cute and really short, which I really like. And it makes it perfect as an intro game. I really think a lot of what R&W and RPG Tunes do super duper well is give you a game that brand new players can get a hold of and understand and enjoy and be able to play. It's a pretty linear path. There's not really a lot of options for derailment. It's player, so there's always going to be derailments. We had a moment of, can I use the mage hand to Heimlich maneuver a reindeer discussions? So there's always going to be player chaos, because that's just what players do. But generally the adventures are pretty straightforward. They are well contained. They're short. And they don't end up in a lot of deep discussions about how does this spell work, how does this work. They tend to lend themselves to pretty linear progression, which makes them super. I've run the Tremor Train a few times now, actually, for brand new players, and it always has been a hit. So, So Gremlins in the Workshop is a very simple adventure with Holly the elf, who was trying to help her friend Sheffy the elf finish making cookies for everybody. But Holly's a horrible cook, and unbeknownst to her, some coal got into all of the cookies, and everyone who ate them turned into a horrible gremlin, including the reindeer, including all the elves, and including Santa himself. And so Holly, in a panic, takes some of the gremlin reindeer out in the sleigh and attempts to go and find help, where she discovers your adventuring party and begs for assistance. So that is the general beginning. That's the hook of the adventure. Again, it's pretty straightforward. The players accept. They hop on the sleigh. The sleigh is really fun because it has a compass and it has the reindeer that you have to manage. So I know that 2 people as a group can seem really small, but it actually works super duper well for this adventure. This isn't something that you have to have like 4 or 5 people to play. 2 or 3 would work fine. So it was funny. Our group seemed to be about 10 apart in everything that they rolled. So Susie would roll like a 16, and Carolyn would roll a 6, and so we just quite never had sort of a good balance, which is so, like, it's really cool because if there's a teamwork bonus that if both players get the same roll, then they automatically succeed. So I was hoping they would both get like a 6 and they would both fail, but in the same direction, or something. Just because I love that mechanic, because it always amuses me in D&D in general. Just when players get the same numbers, I don't know why, but I find it really fun. It's just like a little like sort of moment. So I like the teamwork bonus, and I think that that's cute. So then they arrive to the workshop, and, is that a thunders?
Yep. So.
Oh, no, we got stormed bad yesterday, so I'm going to try and wrap this up so that we don't get stormed out again. Because, boy, we had some fun power flickers yesterday. So then we go to Santa's workshop itself. The workshop is it's a lot of fun. So the barn is typical. You deal with some more gremlin reindeer. You deal with a few elves, gremlin elves, who are causing chaos. It's not too much that's wild in here. The loading dock was fun because that was where poor Amber got booped on the snoot by a present flying down. The conveyor belt. So there's some cute little things like that. The wrapping room, where you have just mass chaos of, Christmas wrapping paper that has been basically turned into spider web type of things. And more conveyor belts. And then my favorite room, of course, was the factory, where you had all sorts of weird toys and maniacal things being put together. We had the Butts doll, which Susie was super excited about making sure she had in her possession. It was just, there's dolls where you pull a cord and it says something. All this one said was butts in various intonations. There are a lot of really fun suggestions they give. A mean-looking mechanical spider, a robot that turns into a knife.
What have you got there? A knife!
A mega dinosaur made up of random dinosaur parts. That one was in the room with our people. An action figure with a baby doll head on top. This is really a fun room to be able to put in some weird stuff. And also it's really fun if you know your players fairly well and like have spent a decent amount of time prepping. You can even have stuff that is, like Furby or Tamagotchis or something that kind of connects with your player's childhood as well. So that could be fun. There's also a bunch of toy traps in this room. My players only triggered one. Amber stepped on a Lego and took 1 piercing damage from the Lego. But there's also, you step on marbles and fall prone. You're attacked by a toy soldier, or everything happens. So there's a lot of fun that can happen with your players there, and just kind of in unexpected and cute ways. I really love how adorable and wholesome, I guess, this game is. It's really just... Stop smelling the mic, weirdo. The cat is like all up sniffing on the mic, so sorry about that noise. So we finish up in the factory. Your players get some more. That's the other thing, is your players get gifts along the way that are specifically made for this adventure, and they're also very cute. What did you guys get? You got like a cozy hat that gave you the spirit of Christmas giving. You got like a book?
Carols.
Oh yeah, the Book of Carols that did the tiny hut thing. So there are a lot of just thematically appropriate items that you can get in here, and they're really cute, and they fit in super well with the adventure as well. And honestly, some of them probably would fit in even with a larger adventure if you want your players to experience this. So after the factory, you go straight into Santa's workshop. And Bad Santa is no joke. It's a fight. He's actually, that's one thing I do enjoy, is even though they give you, these adventures are fairly wholesome, fairly cute, they're not a joke. I know in the Tremor Train, the spider fight, that was no joke. It was a hard fight that the players were worried about for a little bit there. And Santa is no joke either. He's got 45 HP and a 15 AC. And so my players kept doing 13s and 14s to try and hit them, and it was just like a whiff. And then Amber had him making dex saves, which was great because that was one of his weaker stats, and he failed most of those, I think, if not all of them.
He failed every single one of them.
His wisdom is his lowest stat with a -2 to wisdom, which I thought was quite fun. But yeah, and Santa has this really cool thing where he's got this nice to naughty ability and reaction, where if a character is doing something nice, he can force them to make a wisdom saving throw, and on a fail, that character has to prank or hurt their friend. And both of the characters got inflicted with that at various points in the fight. So Amber, you mage hand and yanked on Athena's tail. And Athena threw a chew toy that was so noxious in smell it poisoned everyone but Santa. Mm-hmm. So that was great in the middle of the fight for everyone to have disadvantage on everything. But he can do that 3 times. And he also has a multi-attack that does 2d6 damage, and it also can shove the players. So Santa is no joke in a fight. Rumble, rumble, rumble. But the adventure itself is really cute. It's really well laid out. There's individual maps for each room. We didn't really use those because I didn't want to draw all of them out because we weren't sure what the setup at the library was going to be like. But the maps are really cute. They're really good. It even comes with little minis that you can print out and just fold and put together. And so those are cute little additions as well that are a lot of fun. We ran this through with 2 level 3 characters, and it seemed about the right level of difficulty for that. I wouldn't go any higher than that. It's not a real high level difficulty. And I think with a larger group, you could even probably go with slightly lower levels. Mm-hmm. But level 3, I think, is a good one because that's at the point that your character kind of has their path that they've chosen. The classes all get their specialities. You kind of are starting to be a slightly more defined adventurer. So I like level 3. And if you want to run this with a larger group with level 3s, it would be very easy to just bump up some of the DCs and give Santa maybe a little more hit points. Hello, cat. But yeah, it's a great adventure. I actually really enjoyed running it. And it was great because we had people in the audience who were participating as well, so that was a new experience for, I think all of us was actually playing D&D with a live in-person audience. We've had audiences in our Twitch channels and stuff before, but it was kind of a different experience when you have someone sitting 4 feet away from you going, "Oh, put the hat on Santa!" And coming up with some really great suggestions, because the mage hand thing was an audience suggestion, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Was it?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
He said you could pull her tail.
Yes.
And then you said mage hand.
So it was fun having that in there. And one of the other things that I really like about this adventure is that the point of it is not to beat the crap out of everybody. The adventure lends itself towards creativity. So the gremlins can be saved. So the first option, which we got through with the first fight, is you reduce the characters down to 0 HP and they sort of reboot back into their jolly, Merry Christmassy self. That's the one option. The other options are that you can change them back with wholesome gestures, which is the exact wordage that the guide uses. And so you can give them a gift, sing Christmas carols, show them kindness. We did a lot of puppy dog kisses, and belly rubs, and just general, hey, I'm a dog and I'm adorable, wholesomeness. And so that was really cool, as there were only 2 fights in the adventure. So it ran about 2 hours, a little under 2 hours actually. So it's a pretty quick adventure. It's something that's great. Like if you're going home for the holidays and you have a family that's at all willing to entertain the idea of playing Dungeons and Dragons, this would be a really cool adventure to bring into it. They would also be a little bit, thematic. So Christmas Eve adventure or something. This would be really a cute thing to do. I actually am seriously considering doing that this year. We'll see. Because I did run, last time I was home for Christmas, I did run my family through the trimmer train, and they all enjoyed it. So, I think maybe we will see. Do you two have anything you want to add from the player perspective?
Other than that, it was just super fun, and it was cute.
It was super, super cute. And this, for anybody tuning in and for anybody who watched our stream of this might have been a sneak peek of the new campaign that we're going to be launching at some point later this year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with all of that, but we are working on a second campaign that will be on the channel now that Turry Cell has wrapped up, but we don't have enough details to really finalize or tease too much about it at this point. But hopefully at some point we will have enough detail to be able to tease, maybe next month or maybe in September. We all gotta survive Gen Con and Dragon Con before we can really do much of anything. So yeah. But yeah, it's a really cute game. It's really well laid out. The PDF is set up in a really easy to use way. The different events are set in specific boxes so you know what they look like. The room descriptions are in specific boxes. The way everything is laid out, it works really well. The DCs are in bold. The enemies are in bold. Any damages are in bold so that you know exactly what amounts you're looking at. Even when you just glance at the page, it's very easy to, immediately say, oh yeah, it's this. So that I really appreciate that, because when you're DMing, sometimes if you're having to flip through 14 pages to try and find where something is, it gets really annoying. And this was really well laid out. All the enemies are together. All of the adventure pretty much runs, and it's basically, you can't really go through the building in a different order. So the way that this is laid out is just absolutely, it's great. I think it's a really well done adventure, just like everything I've seen from R&W and RPG Tunes. They're really probably one of my favorite creators of adventures. So definitely support them on Patreon. I should have looked up the link to that so that I could share it in chat, but we'll post it on somewhere. But yeah, so if you are looking for a cute, wholesome adventure, definitely this is one to keep in mind. Trimmer Train is as well, and that's also on R&W's website. And that one is super fun as well. We ran that, I think, for Spooky Game Month in October last year. And it was great. But yeah, I really, really, really like all of their stuff. It's super well laid out, it's super well put together, and it's super easy to run. Which for me, as a DM who doesn't always prepare as well as I should, it's great to have that. So, I guess I'll do just our quick announcements. It looks like the link to the Patreon showed up in chat, so thank you, chat. And yeah, so this coming Saturday the 3rd, we have Tales from Cyril starting at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that will be back with our campaign we have right now. Should be an exciting one. We've got some stuff that is literally on fire at the moment, so that should be interesting to see what chaos happens there. And then next week we've got Susie's playing video games and chill on Monday. And then we'll be doing DM chats with Carolyn, going over what class comes after Fighter. Monk.
Yeah, Monk.
Monk. So she'll be going over the monk classes.
I was like, alphabet.
So that will be interesting. I know the monk classes just like blows my mind. They always just seem super broken and I don't understand how they work. Something about them just doesn't click in my head. So I'm super looking forward to that, to seeing if that helps. And yeah, I think that's it. We post schedule updates and all of that on our social channels. So make sure you follow us. We also on Twitter have been posting a lot more questions about how other people play D&D. So it was interesting. The other day we actually posted, let me find it because it was interesting on how people handle natural 20s. Because our group we double the dice. That's how we play it. That's how we've run it. So it was interesting to see about other groups. So some groups do critical hits and fumbles must be confirmed. And so that generally you roll again and see what happens there. Or a secondary person has to verify what the dice actually says. And then they use the Pathfinder crits or fumbles deck, which I've heard of, and it sounds super fun and super interesting. Some people roll the dice and then double the results of whatever the dice roll has been. So rather than rolling twice the dice, they just double whatever the amount is that was rolled. Rolling all of the dice. That's always great. And then Nat 20s give players a chance to be more awesome in their descriptions of the attack. If the attack kills the target, they get a kill cam moment and can do whatever they want. And Nat 1 in combat makes me draw a card describing what went wrong. So it's really been interesting to see what people, what people are doing that with how they run. Because even though D&D has a set of rules and guidelines, everybody sort of has their own flavor that they use for it. So we're posting a few more questions like that. And yeah, that's basically it for tonight. Anybody traveling to Gen Con, have a super awesome time. Remember to stay hydrated and to try and get rest, shower, ask for permission before you hug, wash your hands a lot.
Do not become patient zero.
And just be careful getting in. There's a lot of road closures and a lot of issues getting into Indianapolis that's causing some traffic issues. So just be patient and give yourself some time. You're going to have an awesome time at the show. There's so much going on. I'm really excited that they're streaming parts of it. So I will get to somewhat enjoy the convention even without being there. So I'm kind of excited about that. Check out Gen Con's Twitter if you want to know more about that. They will be streaming some of their panels and some of their bigger main stage stuff. So that should be really fun and give all of us who couldn't go to Gen Con a chance to kind of live a little bit of it. But yeah, that's it for tonight. And I hope you have a super awesome night. And we will be back on Saturday with some Mass Chaos D&D with stuff on fire. But not in real life. But yeah, check out R&W and RPG Tune stuff there on Twitter. They have a great Patreon. They're on Tumblr. They've got a great website. And they're posting all sorts of new stuff all the time. So definitely check them out. I will be keeping an eye on what adventures they have coming out next because I want to play all of them. I really enjoy them because I'm a cinnamon roll DM, so playing super wholesome, cutesy stuff makes my soul happy. So that is it for tonight with Roll for Trouble. And I'm going to scoochie awkwardly off camera so I can push it a button and switch the thing over. But we will be back Saturday. So keep rolling those dice and have fun at Gen Con. Bye! Boop, boop.